Hello there, Stevos. Welcome along to this week's episode of Steve's Movie Wrap-Up. Without further ado, let's have a look and see what movies I've been watching and reviewing this week. You're watching Steve's Movie Wrap-Up, episode 87, right here on my YouTube channel, SteveOfficial. The first movie you'll be reviewing in this episode is Harry Styles' One Night in Manchester. Starting off with Harry Styles' One Night in Manchester, and starting off this week's episode of the movie wrap-up on a very positive note, because I gave this 5 stars over on Letterboxd. Harry Styles, the artist that you are. Of course, this does have to be given the 5-star treatment from me. Number 1, this is the first film in 2026, or to be released in 2026, that I have given 5 stars to. And secondly, it deserves 5 stars because it's Harry Bloody Styles. Don't think his middle name is Bloody, but just stick with me here. I really enjoyed this concert movie that Harry Styles did for his fans. He literally performed every song from top to bottom from his new album, Kiss All the Time, Disco Occasionally, to his fans for one night only in Manchester on the day of the album's release, which was Friday the 6th of March. Netflix then releases this concert movie 48 hours later on Sunday the 8th of March 2026. And I will be honest here, I actually hadn't heard his new album before watching this. Now that I have seen this concert movie though, I definitely want to go back and listen to this album all the way through from start to finish, because he has some really great songs on this album, by the way. The concert movie does have a running time of 1 hour 37 minutes, and not only does he perform his entire new album, he also performs songs from previous albums such as It Was, Golden, and Sign of the Times. Do I recommend watching this concert movie if you are a fan of Harry Styles and love his music or enjoy his songs? And I would say give this a watch for yourselves. I'll be honest, when I first heard his lead single from this new album, I absolutely hated how it sounded and I didn't vibe with it at all. However though, by the end of the first weekend, after the lead single called Aperture was released, I just couldn't stop playing it, and even now, because it is quite a catchy song as well, I can't stop myself from singing it from time to time. Harry Styles' One Night in Manchester is streaming now on Netflix worldwide. War Machine. The next movie I'd seen this week was War Machine, which I gave 2.5 stars over on Letterboxd. Alan Ritchson, Jai Courtney, and Dennis Quaid all star in this Netflix original movie that is titled War Machine. So what did I think of the film? I thought Alan Ritchson was pretty decent as the main lead. He did show a lot of heart and passion in this film. This film is, if I am honest, rather bizarre and strange. It's almost as if someone had watched a Predator movie, then watched a movie about the war, then came up with the idea that what if we did a Predator movie with a bunch of people who are at war? But because of copyright reasons, they obviously couldn't use the Predator from the Predator franchise, so instead they used what appears to be some futuristic robots. I'll be honest here, the design of the robot, or the War Machine, did look pretty decent and appeared to be quite strong. It also had this feature where it would throw all of these bombs out from the machine, which I thought was a nice touch. However though, is this a film that I am going to remember watching in a couple of days? I hardly doubt it. And is this a movie that was designed to be straight streaming? I think so, because there was times where I could tell something was green screened or CGI'd in this film. It was just pretty obvious. There is a little part of me towards the very end of the film where they were trying to make it feel like a scene straight out of Top Gun Maverick. And for me, that didn't work either. But I do appreciate this movie though. And this is coming from someone who isn't a huge war film fan, but doesn't mind the odd sci-fi film here or there. Is War Machine a film I can see me rewatching or revisiting again sometime in the future? Well, sure, I would watch it again, but I am in no rush to see it again anytime soon. And would I recommend watching War Machine? Well, if you like war films, or if you like sci-fi films, or even both genres for that matter, then I think you will like this one. But War Machine is streaming now on Netflix worldwide. If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. The next film I've seen this week is If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You, which I've given 2 stars over on Letterboxd. So I have checked out If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You at the cinema. First film I have checked out at the cinema since the release of Scream 7. So what did I think of If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You? This was a rather strange and bizarre film, in my honest opinion. There is some decent moments in this film. Now, I am certain this film is supposed to be under the comedy genre, and while I did see this film with a crowd, the screening I saw this in was a small screening, but the seats were nearly filled up. There was a couple of chuckles from the audience members. Did I laugh at some scenes? Surprisingly not. For me, I felt as though this was more of a slow burn drama film than a comedy film. I don't think this movie was for me, and that is okay, because throughout the running time I was checking my watch to see how long this film had left before it ended. I will say though, there is some scenes that I do appreciate. The cinematography is one thing that I did appreciate for this film. Also, there was a scene where the lead character's daughter, who by the way we don't actually see until the closing moments of the film, she wants a hamster at the beginning of the film. Her mother, who is the lead for the film, says she can't have one. Halfway through the film, she caves in and gifts her daughter this hamster. Well, the daughter doesn't have the hamster very long because it's a vicious hamster. And whilst being involved in a slight minor accident with a car behind, the hamster manages to escape its box and then killed by an oncoming car, squishing the hamster to death, and that did make me sad. There is also this black hole in the lead character's apartment at the start of the film. The lead character is also a therapist as well as having therapy outside of her therapy work. Her husband is away all the time, and I do think as the movie goes on, she gradually loses her mentality, as we see towards the final act of the film. Is If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You a film I would recommend watching? Well, yes, I would say give it a watch, but for me, this might be a movie I watch once and once only, but I do still appreciate the film, though, for highlighting mental health. A mother who is struggling to balance her daughter who is unwell, her apartment which has fallen apart, and taking care of her patients/clients who she sees on a regular basis. But If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You is available in UK cinemas right now. Goat. The next film I have seen this week at the cinema is Goat, which I gave 2.5 stars over on Letterboxd. The second film I've watched at the cinema this week was the animated family-friendly movie titled Goat, which was made by Sony Animation Pictures. So, what did I think of Goat? Well, I did enjoy seeing this animated film, despite the fact that I am not a huge sports fan, and I'm not into basketball, which is what this movie is based on. David Harbour, Nicola Coughlan and Caleb McLaughlin all star in this film. Well, they lend their voices in this film, as it is animated after all. Kids of today will appreciate this film, and they do tend to use some of the terms that youths of today do use, such as lit and mid, for example. Is Goat a movie I can see me rewatching and revisiting again? I think so. I will buy it when it comes out on digital platforms to buy and keep, but I won't be in a rush to buy and keep the film, so I will purchase it at a later date. Also, I'm quite late to the party in terms of seeing this at the cinema, because this has been out for a fair few weeks before I have seen this at the cinema, but I am glad I did catch it on the big screen before it left the cinema. Do I recommend watching Goat if you are looking for a new animated film to watch, or if you have kids and looking for a new film to go and see on the big screen that will keep them entertained for an hour and a half, then I do recommend seeing this. But Goat is in cinemas and theatres worldwide. Hoppers. And the final film I have seen this week is Disney Pixar's Hoppers, which I gave 4 stars over on Letterboxd. Hoppers is the new Disney Pixar film, which is the 3rd film I have seen at the cinema this week. I spent an entire Thursday afternoon at the cinema, by the way, doing my second job, which I don't get paid for, and that is to sit and watch films and then review/talk about them. So you're welcome. So, what did I think of the new Disney Pixar film, Hoppers? I really enjoyed this. This does come flavoured with the usual Pixar tropes that many of us have grown up with over the years, and that is the warmth and heart that goes into this film. There is some comedy in this as well, which, I will be honest, did get a few chuckles out of me at times throughout the running time. Also, there is a scene that happens in this movie, and bearing in mind this is a Pixar film, by the way, I never thought I would see the day a character dies in a Pixar film. But in 2026, a character actually dies. An evil character dies. Well, somewhat evil anyways. If you have seen the movie, then you will know which character I am referring to. But if you haven't, then go and see this movie and you will catch the reference. I did indeed quietly chuckle at the scene in question because I thought it was rather dark that Pixar did what they did in the scene. Is Hoppers a film I can see me going back and rewatching when it arrives on Disney Plus later this year? Yeah, I do think so. I definitely do need to make some time to watch some movies that have recently released on Disney Plus actually, which I will get around to doing. So expect some Disney Plus movies to get watched and reviewed by me in the coming weeks. Is Hoppers a movie I would recommend watching? Yeah, for sure. I think there is jokes in here for all the family members. So no matter what age you are, this film is designed for all the family to watch. I do love the message and the meaning behind this film as well. It's about protecting nature and the wildlife and not allowing rich people to redevelop them for the members of the public to use. Hoppers is now showing in cinemas and theatres worldwide. And there we go. That is this week's episode of the movie wrap up done and dusted. I hope you guys enjoyed this week's episode of the movie wrap up. If you have, feel free to give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment in the comment section down below. Let me know what movies you guys have been watching over this last week, whether it's old, new, in cinemas, in theatres, on DVD, Blu-ray, or even on VHS if you are that old. Do let me know in the comment section down below. And as always, if you are new around here and you like what you see, feel free to hit that subscribe button. Tap the notification bell as well to become a Steve-O. And obviously you'll get notified whenever I do release some brand new videos here on my YouTube channel, SteveOfficial. I will be back tomorrow, which is Monday the 16th of March 2026. 4 PM UK time. I've got a new episode of the weekly vlog coming out. And there is some other videos that are coming out this week as well. So keep an eye on this YouTube channel page because there is a couple of videos coming out then. But from me though, it's goodbye. Thank you for watching. And I'll see you guys again in my next YouTube video.